Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Guardians franchise here on MLB The Show 22. With the offseason now in the books, we will kick off the third season of the series today. A couple of days ago, I put a poll on the YouTube community tab asking you guys whether you would rather me stream spring training and then get to opening day a little bit later, or if we just start right in the regular season. And it seemed like the majority of you guys wanted me to hop right into the regular season, and I'm a man of the people, so that's what we're going to do. To start today's episode, I will have a brief off-season recap for those who need a refresher, along with a short spring training overview. If you would rather just skip right to the regular season portion of the video, I'll put a timestamp in the description and you'll be able to do that. So as we recap the offseason, I think we did a great job of setting ourselves up for the short term and the long term. We re-signed a few big pieces of our core, extending Shane Bieber, James Karinchak, Camilo Duvall, and Jose Ramirez to multi-year extensions. We made some nice pickups in free agency, adding some lefty arms with Blake Snell to the rotation and Aaron Loup in the bullpen, and we made some nice trades for guys like Eliezer Alfonso, Jesus Sanchez, and Manuel Margot. The farm system improved as well. We added guys like Michael McGreevy, Taj Bradley, Kobe Mayo, and Mason Wynn. Along with them, our draft class from a year ago is here now as well. So guys like Alvaro Pena, Tommy Madlock, Rich Baez, and Humberto Guzman are in the organization as well. We did lose some pieces from last year's team. Guys like Aaron Civale and Jose Alvarez, they are now with the Cardinals. We lost Omar Narvaez, Eddie Rosario with the Yankees, Miles Straw and Keenan Middleton, both to the Marlins as part of the Jesus Sanchez trade. But overall, I thought we really got better for the immediate future and the long term. This is what the lineup is going to look like here for spring training. I mostly wanted to play unproven players who are either young guys or players who are battling for roster spots on the big league club. For the pitching rotation as well, I did the same thing. I'm holding an open competition for the fifth starter. Adbert Alzolay will likely be the favorite, but I'm intrigued to see what guys like Gavin Williams, Carlos Vargas, and Daniel Espino can do. And if one of those guys really performs well in spring training, maybe they'll get the job. So we're going to simulate to the 20th here in spring training and sort of reassess where we are. And the young guys did pretty good. We ended up going 13-9 in our first 22 games. After that, I decided to mix up the lineups a little bit, let some of our everyday big leaguers play along with the young guys as well. And then with the pitching, I've decided to put our regular 5 starters in, and the bullpen will change a little bit too. So spring training is now in the books. We go 16-14. We did better when our regular major leaguers weren't starting, which is kind of ironic, but okay. Overall, we did pretty good going over 500, but despite that, we had the second worst run differential in the Cactus League, which is kind of odd. Looking at the numbers, we had some young guys who performed pretty well and some young guys who didn't do as well. Zane Rowley, for example, I was excited to see how he would do. He's very clearly still a year away from the big leagues. Gabriel Arias, Will Benson, they kind of struggled as well. But with them playing poorly, we did have some younger guys play well, like Jhonkensy Noel and Ramon Ramiro. Ramiro did it in a pretty big sample size as well, with over 70 at-bats. As for the pitching, Adbert Alzolay started a couple games, and I think he was good enough to start the year with that 5th spot in the rotation, but he's going to have a very short leash. And if somebody like Gavin Williams or Carlos Vargas or Daniel Espino or even Taj Bradley does well in AAA, I'm not going to be afraid to make that switch. But for now, it will be Alzolay, who did have some good stretches last year, but he ended the season on a very poor run. So now we have to send 14 players down to the minor leagues. We're going to send down all of the starting pitchers who are not currently in our rotation. From a bullpen, I had to make some tough choices. I ended up sending down Alex Vesia and Oinks Quackenbush. As for the position players, I did end up sending down Ramon Ramiro, but if he starts this year strong in AAA, I'm not going to be afraid to call him up. And if he's hitting 300 with an OPS like at 850 or something by the time we get to mid-May, he's going to be a big leaguer. Jhonkensy Noel's another guy who did well in spring training. If he starts the year off strong, I might call him up too. And then other than that, it wasn't too hard. Zane Rowley probably was not going to make the big league club early this season anyway, so he'll go to AAA. Will Benson was a little bit disappointing, though I did expect more out of him. Hopefully he can have another good year in the minors. So as you can notice, we actually only have 25 players on the roster. I actually decided to sign John Birdie out of free agency. I got a comment in the offseason video that suggested him, and I think that makes a lot of sense. He's a veteran utility player who is a speed demon on the base passes. He's not going to be an everyday starter, but I think he's better than Luis Rengifo, who we signed as a utility guy in the offseason. If Birdie struggles, we'll just DFA him and call up a guy like Luis Rengifo. But I think Birdie's the better player, so for now, he's going to be with the big league club. Our first series of the year is on the road in Minnesota against the Twins. They're the 29th ranked team in baseball, and long story short, they are bad. They have a great farm system, and I think they have a bright future, but over the next couple of seasons, they are not going to be good. They did add some veterans like Nathan Eovaldi and Ian Happ, but outside of Byron Buxton, there's really no star power on this team. They traded away Carlos Correa to Atlanta in the offseason, so hopefully we can take advantage of our 18 matchups against Minnesota this year. This is what the lineup is going to look like for the start of the season. The top 6 hitters, Marte, Valera, Ramirez, Reyes, Bell, and Sanchez, will be everyday players. For now, Campusano, Jimenez, and Margot will start against righties, and then against lefties, we'll have Rocchio, Alfonso, and really any random DH platoon in. For now, I had that as Bobby Bradley, but if a guy like Josh Naylor or Elliot Ramos starts the year off well, I'm not going to be afraid to put one of those guys in with more playing time as well. As for the pitching rotation, it's going to be the 5 that we projected it as going into spring training, but as I said, Adbert Alzolay has a very, very short leash. He's got to start the year off strong, or else his future here in Cleveland doesn't look bright. We have a very small bullpen with only 6 players. Probably early in the season, I may call up a reliever and send down one of our bats. We'll see who is struggling early in the season, but for now, I am confident with this group, with the pitching staff, and hopefully they can get to a strong start this year. So let's hop into this game here on the road against the Minnesota Twins. Should be a fun matchup against a division rival. And again, even though the Twins are not a great team, you never know with division matchups in baseball, especially on the road. So hopefully we can start this year off strong. We had a great month of April last year, and that set the tone for us having a really good rest of the season. Statistically, our offense was one of the best in baseball last year. Did they play well in the playoffs? Absolutely not. But they were very good in the regular season. Regular starters here for Cleveland against righties, but instead of Andres Jimenez at shortstop, it'll be Brian Rocchio. This is kind of Rocchio's debut. Remember, he played 1 game last year and he tore his labrum. So this is his first, hopefully, full game. Here's Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for the Twins. He was acquired in an offseason trade with the Milwaukee Brewers in the offseason, so we'll see how he can do as the ace of Minnesota. Ketel Marte with a good start to the game, singling it up the middle. Ketel Marte was by far Cleveland's best hitter in the playoffs last year. Hopefully he can have another great season in the second year of his contract. Jose Ramirez is now up in his first at-bat with his new extension. He grounds into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. Not a great start for J-Ram as we go to the bottom of the first. Shane Bieber with his first game under his new 4-year, $120+ million extension, getting the start today as the opening day ace. He starts off striking out Byron Buxton, the best player on this Minnesota roster. They have Kevin Newman in the 2-hole today. Count is full. He goes down on the slider. Good start here for Shane Bieber, who is laying down the lumber so far here in the first inning. We go to the second now. Franmil Reyes, the reigning American League MVP, leads it off for Cleveland. He strikes out on a slider. Reyes was really the epitome of Cleveland's offense being great in the regular season and horrible in the playoffs. That'll bring up Josh Bell now in his second season in Cleveland, hitting that one high and deep in his center at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Solo home run for Josh Bell, and the Cleveland Guardians start this one on the board. Josh Bell had a fantastic season last year, helping him earn a raise in the offseason, and, well, he's getting off to a great start this year. 2 away for the young catcher, Luis Campusano, in his first full big league season. Singles it into center. Campusano got off to a blazing hot start after the trade last season, kind of quieted down. Hopefully he can have a consistent full season as Rocchio flies out to left. Nearly was his first major league hit, but unfortunately not quite. Still a good inning. We're on the board with a home run from Josh Bell as it's 1-0. Into the bottom of the second, Ian Happ up for the Twins, and he's going to answer with a mammoth shot of his own. Ian Happ, in his first at-bat as a Minnesota Twin, starts off with a bang, and this game is tied at 1. Ian Happ with a 368-foot home run, and this game is knotted up. The Twins offense isn't done, however. Here's Nick Solak singling into left, so he is now aboard. He's speedy, 83 speed. We'll see if the Twins can use that to their advantage. Austin Martin then singles into right field. Martin is one of the bright young prospects in this organization. He's also very fast. The Twins have two of their fastest base runners aboard. That'll bring up Yanier Diaz, who strikes out. Big pitch for Bieber. He would get through the rest of the inning with no harm done. Into the third, here's Manuel Margot, acquired in a trade in the offseason with Tampa Bay, singling into right. Good first at bat as a Guardian for Manuel Margot, singling. That'll bring up Ketel Marte, got a hit in his first at bat, and he's going to make it 2 for 2 with a bloop single into left field, but hey, that's a hit nonetheless, and the Guardians have 2 runners aboard with nobody out. That'll bring up George Valera, who was a rookie sensation a year ago, singling into right. So the Guardians hit back-to-back-to-back singles, and the bases are now loaded with nobody out. There's no excuse to not drive in 2 to 3 runs this inning. That's not a great start. Jose Ramirez strikes out, and now a ground ball could end the inning with no runs being scored. That'll bring up Franmil Reyes, full count pitch. Skies this one high and deep into center, but should be more than enough room for a sac fly, as Byron Buxton will make the catch. Manuel Margot should be able to score pretty easily. Ketel Marte advances to third. So it's a successful at-bat for Franmil Reyes. He drives in a run, and the Guardians now lead 2-1 with runners on the corners for Josh Bell, who homered in his last at-bat. Bell sends this one for a ride deep into right center field, and it is gone! What a start to the year for Josh Bell, homering in his first 2 at-bats. That one goes 414 feet, driving in 3 runs, and the Guardians lead 5-1. That'll now bring up Jesus Sanchez. He draws a walk, and this inning's going to keep on moving. The Guardians have scored 4, but they're looking for more. That'll bring up the catcher, Luis Campusano, singled in his last at-bat. He's going to single again. The Guardians have batted around here in the 3rd inning. Once Brian Rocchio gets an at-bat here, everybody in the lineup will have gotten one. Rocchio strikes out looking. That'll end the inning. The Guardians leave 2 aboard, but still a great inning, headlined by the 3-run shot by Josh Bell. Into the bottom of the 3rd, Kevin Newman hits that one nicely into right field for a base hit, fielded cleanly by Jesus Sanchez, who's an underrated defender. Expect to see Sanchez play both right and center field this season as Ragnar Eriksson strikes out, one of the big prospects acquired in the Carlos Correa deal from Atlanta. That'll bring up Blake Clinyard, who singles this one into left field. Runner advances to third. That's Newman. So the Twins have runners on the corners here with 1 out. A great opportunity to do some damage. Minnesota's hitting the ball well so far. Shane Bieber's kind of struggling. That'll bring up Jaden Casper, who grounds it to Marte, to Rocchio, to Bell. 4-6-3 double play. Shane Bieber gets out of the jam, but so far he doesn't really look like himself through 3 innings. Hopefully he can pitch a little bit better as Ketel Marte gets plunked early in the 4th. Got hit in the kneecap. Dan Campbell approves. That'll bring up George Valera. He's going to bloop this one into left field, his 2nd base hit of the day. Marte thinks about 3, heads back to 2nd. So the Guardians are continuing to hit the ball at a rampant pace. The offense looks great, and from there, Nathan Eovaldi will be taken out. He'll be replaced by the veteran righty Michael Wacha, who the Twins hope can give them multiple innings here. Wacha's been on a number of teams, started his career in St. Louis, where he was really good as a young starter and has been a fairly successful pitcher over the past decade. With runners on the corners and 2 away, Reyes flies out to left, so the Guardians are not going to be able to score anybody in this inning as Wacha gets out of the jam. Into the bottom of the 4th now, Austin Martin is up at the plate, 1-2 pitch. He gets fooled on the cutter. Shane Bieber's pitch count is starting to get a little bit high. He's at 69. Nice pitches. We go to the 5th inning now. Jesus Sanchez draws a walk for a 2nd time today. Sanchez is really looking good so far. The pair of walks early in this ball game as that'll bring up Luis Campusano, who's 2 for 2 today. Not going to make it 3 for 3. He strikes out on the 4-seam fastball. Good pitch by Wacha, who's looking pretty good right now. Bottom of the 5th. Here's Yanier Diaz striking out on the cutter. Good pitch from Bieber, his 7th strikeout of the game. That'll bring up Byron Buxton, top of the order up for Minnesota. As Buxton hits that one well into left field, it goes over the fence for a solo home run. First of the year for Byron Buxton, and Minnesota cuts the deficit down to 3. From there, the Guardians would take Shane Bieber out of the game. he hasn't looked like himself, and with how much he pitched late last year in the postseason, we don't want to overwork him early in the season, so he'll be replaced by Nick Sandlin, who starts off with a quick strikeout on Kevin Newman, who got fooled on the outside slider. Now we go to the 6th inning. Michael Wacha's still in as he faces off against Manny Margot, who singles for a second time today, this one into center. Margot's not known for his offense. He's always been a fringe 700 OPS player. We mainly got him because he's an anchor in center field, but he can hit a little bit. George Valera strikes out. I think he wants to hit the umpire because that was a very questionable call. Camilo Duvall enters for Cleveland here in the bottom of the 6th. Duvall, of course, signed a big 5-year extension in the offseason, locking him up until he's a full-on free agent as he strikes out Blake Clinyard to open up the inning. The Twins are loaded with corner outfield prospects. Clinyard, one of them. He's got a very bright future with this team as Ian Happ goes down on the slider as well. Good inning for Duvall. No runners allowed. Strikeout 2. And we go to the 7th. Juan Minaya is in for Minnesota, 4.57 ERA a year ago as he faces off against the Franimal. Franmil Reyes with his first base hit of the year. This one goes into the right center gap, likely for extra bases. It'll be a double to start the inning for Franmil Reyes, and hopefully the Guardians can capitalize. They have not driven any runners in since the 3rd inning. That'll bring up Josh Bell, who has homered twice today looking for the hat trick. He's not going to get it, but he does get a hit. Singles into right. Reyes holds up at 3rd. Probably the right call. He would have been out by a mile. So now the Guardians have runners on the corners with nobody out. This is their opportunity to really close Minnesota's window on this game, as that'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. He strikes out on the high four-seam fastball. Nice pitch by Minaya for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Brian Rocchio now with 2 away, 0 for 3. Makes it 0 for 4. He goes down looking. Not a great season debut for Brian Rocchio. Again, it's kind of his big league debut, but not really. Bottom of the 7th now, Aaron Loop in for Cleveland. He spent last year with the Angels and was really good, 1.78 ERA. We're hoping he can be a big veteran presence in the bullpen, and that's not a great start. With 1 away, Austin Martin rips an extra base hit. That'll end up as a double for the former top 5 pick out of the University of Vanderbilt. So he's in scoring position for the top of the order. Byron Buxton rips it into left. It should be caught, and it will not be caught. George Valera cannot make the play. So that'll be a double for the speedster Byron Buxton, and the Twins make it 5-3. Slowly but surely, Minnesota's cutting into this deficit. That'll bring up Kevin Newman now. Pops it to 3rd. What a catch by Jose Ramirez. He could have just gone under it and not been dramatic, but he wouldn't have had that cool play, so I don't blame him. Top of the 8th now, Brian Garcia in for Minnesota. He was pretty dreadful last year in just under 12 innings with an ERA hovering around 11 as Manuel Margot singles into right field. Pretty good Cleveland debut for Manny Margot, if I do say so myself. 3 for 4 with a trio of singles. He looks good. That'll bring up George Valera now. He's going to ground this one to short. Easy opportunity for Minnesota to turn 2, and they do. 6-4-3 double play from the Twins. And they have pitched very well since that 3rd inning. Cleveland's offense has really struggled to get a whole lot going. James Karinchak is now in for Cleveland here in the bottom of the 8th as the defense is going to turn to double play. Good inning for Karinchak, who also recently signed a nice extension. 4 years, over $20 million total. And we go to the 9th. Garcia still in for Minnesota as he faces off against Franmil Reyes, who rips this one into right field. The right fielder cannot make the play. That's Clinyard, and this one looks like it could be a triple. Reyes heads into 3rd, and that'll be a 1-out triple for the Franimal. Great season debut for Reyes. He had a sac fly, a double, and a triple, doing a little bit of everything. Josh Bell is up. Weekly grounds this one to short. Martin will throw out Reyes at home. He wanted to be aggressive and thought he was safe when he clearly wasn't. Bell is still safe at first. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez now. He again goes down on the high fastball. So the Guardians do not score anybody here in the top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the inning where Emmanuel Clase looks to finish off the game. Clase had 41 saves a year ago. He is one of the best closers in baseball as he starts quickly with a strikeout here on Ian Happ to open things up. That'll bring up Nick Solak now, who hits this one high and deep in a right field, back at the wall, and it goes off the top of the wall. Solak is going to round second, headed for 3rd. Slow throw from Andres Jimenez, who substituted earlier for Rocchio, and that'll be a triple. Austin Martin then flies in into right. Jesus Sanchez under it to make the play. Sanchez has got a cannon of an arm, but a little bit offline. So it's a sacrifice fly for the Twins off the bat of Austin Martin. That'll bring up Yanier Diaz, who flies this one into left, caught by George Valera. That's your ball game. 5-4 is the final. The Guardians win opening day here in Minnesota. It was a little bit closer than we had hoped for. The offense got off to a rocket start, but they really didn't get anything going after the third inning. The pitching was fine, a little bit inconsistent here and there, but they did enough to help us get the win. 5 runs, 14 hits, and an error. The Twins with 4 runs and 10 hits. Our notable offensive performer today was definitely Josh Bell. He went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, driving in 4 RBIs. Franmil Reyes was very good too. 2 for 4 with a sac fly, a double, and a triple. And the pitching was fine. Shane Bieber was okay. Not his best stuff, but not horrible. The bullpen as well, not great, but not bad by any stretch. Minnesota's offense didn't do a poor job of getting runners on base. They just didn't consistently hit for big clutch hits when they had guys on, and because of that, they end up losing the game. So we're going to simulate to our home opener now against the Kansas City Royals. We would end up sweeping the Minnesota Twins in a pair of pitching duels. So the offense is starting off kind of slow, but the pitching has been very good up to this point. As we look at those 2 games, the second one we won by the score of 3-2. Cal Quantrill pitched solid, and it was the bullpen who really led us to victory. The third game was much of the same. We scored our 4 runs exclusively on solo home runs, 2 for Franmil Reyes, 1 for Bell, 1 for Ramirez, and then Blake Snell in his Cleveland debut looking the part. 6 1/3 innings, allowing 2 earned runs, striking out 8. Good performance for Snell as we head into this matchup against our arch rivals, the Kansas City Royals. We've got some bad blood with these guys last year. If you remember, there was a game where they were throwing at our guys, we were throwing at theirs. It was ugly. Josh Bell is currently the favorite for AL MVP. I know it's early, but that is pretty cool. So we hop into this game here, our home opener against the Kansas City Royals. And obviously, your home opener every year is a big deal, and it looks like we have pretty much a sellout crowd here at Progressive Field. The Cleveland fans have good reason to be excited. Their team won 90 games a year ago. They won the American League Central, and they're facing off against their bitter arch rivals, the Kansas City Royals, as we look at both lineups today. The catcher, Eliezer Alfonso, is making his Major League debut. Luis Campusano's getting an off day, so Alfonso will get his first crack at the big leagues. Tristan McKenzie makes his first start of the year, had a great season last year. We've been waiting for McKenzie to break out, and he finally did with a full season of consistent high-level play. 2 away here for Andrew Benintendi, going to fly this one into center. Should be caught by Jesus Sanchez. No Manuel Margot today. Again, Cleveland is mixing it up, especially with the Royals having a lefty, Taylor Hearn, on the mound. Hearn was not great last year, an ERA just south of 6, a whip just south of 1.8. So we'll see if he can get off to a strong start today as Jesus Sanchez quickly gets going. Lefty on lefty crime, and it's Sanchez who wins this battle, heading to second with a stand-up leadoff double. Quick start for Jesus Sanchez, and the Guardians have a runner early in scoring position. 2 away for Franmil Reyes. He singles this one into center field. Sanchez rounds third. No relay throw from the center fielder. It's an RBI single for Franmil Reyes, who is looking very good offensively to start the year. Even though Reyes just won MVP, I feel he has more to prove than anybody on this roster after his poor postseason and the fact that he's a free agent at the end of the year. Jose Ramirez hits a double into right center field. Reyes holds up at third. He tries to be cautious with 2 away. We'll see if the number 6 hitter, George Valera, can drive him and Ramirez in. Count is full, pitch on its way from Hearn, and that's going to be a low slider for a walk. So the bases are now loaded, 2 away. A huge opportunity for Brian Rocchio, who still does not have his first major league hit, and that might hold up here. He pops this one into right, and it will be caught to end the inning. The Guardians do score 1, but they leave the bases loaded. Felt like there was a lot to be left desired there. Top of the second, quick start for McKenzie as he strikes out the super slugging catcher Salvador Perez. That'll bring up Mitch Haniger, the longtime Seattle Mariner, and he goes down as well. The 12-6 curve getting both Perez and Haniger. So far, so good for Tristan McKenzie, looking to make it 3 in a row, and he does, this time on the splitter, fooling Edward Olivares. A trio of strikeouts in the second inning from McKenzie as we go to the bottom half. Eliezer Alfonso, in his first Major League at-bat, gets that one to drop for a hit. Great start for Eliezer Alfonso, who was acquired at an offseason trade with the Detroit Tigers. Yes, Steven Kwan was in that deal, and I imagine Guardian fans didn't like that. But Eliezer Alfonso can play, and he now has a career batting average of 1,000 as Josh Naylor retrieves the baseball. That one is certainly going to be a memory that Alfonso holds on to forever. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, who rips that one past the glove of Bobby Witt Jr. for a base hit. Quick start for Sanchez today. He's 2 for 2 already, hitting in the leadoff spot. Now runners on the corners for the lefty killer, Ketel Marte, who lines that one to short. Nice play by Bobby Witt. That will save a run from being scored as it remains 1-0. Into the third, Bronson Kluterman leads it off for the Royals, and he gives them their first base runner. It's been a tale of two different starts for these pitchers. Taylor Hearn has allowed a lot of base runners. Tristan McKenzie, on the other hand, is not, and the Royals are looking to change that as Bobby Witt flies into right. Reyes cannot make the diving play. Rather than let it bounce for a single, he wanted to make the catch, and boy, did that backfire. It's an RBI triple for Witt as Kluterman scores pretty easily, and the Royals tie the game at 1, and they have a runner 90 feet away from home with nobody out. That'll bring up Nick Prado, the first baseman, who strikes out. That's a big one. Tristan McKenzie needed that one to get back into a groove, his 4th of the game. The top of the order back up for Kansas City. It's Isaac Benitez who flies it into center, caught by Sanchez. Witt heads home. Good throw, but Alfonso just misses out on the tag. So it's a sacrifice fly for the Cleveland killer, Isaac Benitez, who dominated against the Guardians whenever these two teams played each other last year. Bottom of the third, here's George Valera drowning it to short. What a play! Bobby Witt Jr. with another awesome defensive play to save a base hit. Big start for Witt. He's got an RBI, a run, and 2 unbelievable defensive plays. There's Salvador Perez striking out for a second time today. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Josh Naylor is up. He had the big walk-off home run in the playoffs last year, as that one's going to be probably an extra base hit. Naylor's first base knock of the season is going to be a double into left center field, so he is in scoring position, and the Guardians have a great opportunity to drive him in. 2 away here for Jesus Sanchez, who's going to hit this one into left field. Jesus Sanchez is 3 for 3 today as he tries to leg out a double, and he is out of there. Great throw by the left fielder to gun him down. The run still scores, however, so it's an RBI single for Jesus Sanchez, and we are now tied at 2. We're going to move to the bottom of the 5th now. Taylor Clark will replace Taylor Hearn. Clark was not much better than Hearn a year ago as he makes his first appearance of the day. We'll start with Josh Bell, who's gotten off to a quiet start in this one. Bell hits this one high and deep into center field. Back at the track at the wall, it's caught by Olivares. That one looked like a home run off the bat, I'm not going to lie. Would have been Bell's 4th of the season. Ketel Marte is now up, 3-1 pitch. That's a tough one to lay off, but he draws a walk, and now the Guardians have another base runner aboard. 2 away for Jose Ramirez, who only has 1 hit so far this year. It is a home run, and he's looking for his 2nd hit. Ramirez hits this one high and deep into right center field. It is gone! 2-run shot for Jose Ramirez, his 2nd homer of the year, and the Cleveland Guardians are back up ahead as it's 4-2. So with Cleveland now leading this game 4-2, that'll bring up George Valera, full count pitch. That fastball goes to the outside. Valera draws his 2nd walk of the game. Cleveland has another runner on base here for Brian Rocchio, still looking for that first major league hit. This could be it, and it is caught. Rocchio is now, I think, 0 for 8 at this point on the year. Certainly not off to the start he had hoped for. Into the 6th inning, Benitez grounds it to the pitcher. Nice play by Tristan McKenzie for the first out of the inning. That is the only out McKenzie will make this inning, as he's actually going to be taken out of the game and replaced by Ryan Weathers. The next 2 batters for the Royals are lefties, but I will admit, I did not mean to take McKenzie out of the game on purpose. I was actually trying to sit Weathers down, but since the next 2 batters are lefties, I didn't feel that bad. Nicky Lopez strikes out. That'll bring up Andrew Benintendi now with 2 away, and Benintendi rips that one to short. Brian Rocchio takes some time to set his feet, and because of that, Benintendi beats out the throw. Bad defense from Rocchio, whose rocky big league start continues. Salvador Perez is now up, lines this one down the third base line for a hit. Benintendi holds up at 2nd. So now the Royals have runners on 1st and 2nd, And yeah, I think we're really starting to regret accidentally taking McKenzie out of the game. However, Mitch Haniger will strike out in the two-seam fastball, so Weathers gets out of the jam, and the score remains 4-2. Let's go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's Elliot Ramos in as a pinch hitter for Josh Naylor, and Ramos makes the most of his at-bat, singling into center field. That's Ramos' first AB of the year, so he now has a season batting average of 1,000. That'll bring up the catcher, Eliezer Alfonso. Count is full, pitch on its way from Clark. That one looked like he was in the zone, but Alfonso lays off. It's a walk, so he is on base for a second time today. And that'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. He's going to ground this one up the middle for a hit. Shout out to Jesus Sanchez, 4 for 4 today. What a day for him at the top of the lineup, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. That'll bring up Josh Bell, who's gotten off to a quiet 0 for 3 start. Grounds this one to the pitcher. He gets the force out at home, and Perez gets the out at first. A 1-2-3 double play for the Kansas City Royals, and now all they need to do is get Ketel Marte out, and nobody will score this inning. Marte here on the 1-1 pitch, grounds it to third. Bronson Kluterman fields it cleanly, gets the out at first, and after starting the inning with the bases loaded, the Guardians score nobody. Keeping the door open here for the Kansas City Royals in the bottom of the seventh as Camilo Doval comes in for his third appearance of the year. So far in an inning and a third, he's been pretty good, not allowing any runs so far. His first batter is Edward Olivares, who draws a walk, so the Royals start the inning with an early base runner. That'll bring up Bronson Kluterman as Olivares steals second. I don't think so. He's gunned down by Eliezer Alfonso, his first big league assist. Kluterman will draw a walk a couple of pitches later, so he is aboard. That'll bring up Bobby Witt. He strikes out looking. Witt also thought he was about to get walked, but that is not the case. And then Nick Prado, he's going to single this one into left field. So the Royals have 2 runners on. Tying runners at first. The potential go-ahead run is at the plate. It's Isaac Benitez, the Cleveland killer. And he's going to get killed on the inside slider. What a nasty pitch from Camilo Doval, who gets out of the jam. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th now. Aaron Loup in for Cleveland. 2 appearances so far this season. He's allowed 1 run. That was back on opening day against Minnesota. With 2 away, it's Salvador Perez, who lines it to third. Ramirez tips it. I don't know why he didn't go after it. Jimenez's throw is definitely not in time. Not much he really could have done there. So that'll bring up Mitch Haniger with a runner on first as he grounds this one to second. Ketel Marte fields it cleanly. Good inning for Aaron Loup as we go to the top of the 9th. Score remains 4-2. Can Cleveland hold on and start their season 4-0? Let's find out. Bobby Bradley making a pinch hit appearance, his first at that of the season. He strikes out on the circle change. Joel Payamps is in for the Royals. He pitched a shutout 8th inning and is looking good again here in the 9th as he faces off against Eliezer Alfonso. He's going to hit this one nicely into center, and that one will drop for a hit. What a great debut for Alfonso. 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, a walk, and he threw a runner out. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, 4 for 4 today. Can he add a 5th? No, he's going to strike out. Would have been a historic performance for Jesus Sanchez, but he still played very well regardless. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Emmanuel Clase looking for the save. He's gotten a save in every game so far this season. We'll see if he can keep the streak going as he starts with Edward Olivares, who goes down on the fastball for the first out of the inning. Clase allowed a run in the first appearance of the year, has not allowed one since as he fools Kluterman on the outside slider. The game now comes down to the bat of Bobby Witt Jr., who grounds it to first. Bobby Bradley fields it cleanly, and the Cleveland Guardians start the 2024 season with a record of 4-0 as they defeat the Royals 4-2. All 4 of our wins so far have been within 2 runs, interestingly enough. Good win here. The offense was fine, but it was really the pitching who won this game. A quality start from Tristan McKenzie, and then the bullpen shoved the final 4 innings of this game. Jesus Sanchez had a great performance, 4 for 5 of an RBI and a run. Jose Ramirez, 2 for 4 of the 2-run shot. Eliezer Alfonso, 2 for 3. He had a great debut. McKenzie with his first win of the year, and then, as I said, the bullpen, a fantastic job to finish off the game. So a good start to the season here for Cleveland. We win our first 4 games. We're going to simulate the next 6, all of which at home. We have 2 more against the Kansas City Royals after an off day, and then 4 against the lowly 0-4 Minnesota Twins. In that stretch, we would do quite well. as we would win 5 out of 6, including sweeping the 2-7 Kansas City Royals. Man, that feels good to say. We also took 3 of 4 against the Minnesota Twins. The pitching has been fantastic. Look at Adbert Alzolay in his first 2 starts. In 15 innings, he's allowed 1 run so far. He has been ridiculous. The bullpen has also been phenomenal. Karinchak and Duvall have not allowed a run yet. Clase has been very good. The offense has been okay, but it's the pitching as to why we are 9-1. Next episode, we're definitely going to play one of these games against the 9-0 Milwaukee Brewers, and then we're going to play another one of those games later in the month. Let me know which team you would like to see us face off against down below in the comments. So that's going to wrap up the episode. Let me know what you thought of our very hot start to the season. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.